Welcome everybody to the Carlette Christmas Show. This morning we're talking about what's possible. You know, we're always suggesting that there should be more in our community for our youth. Well, what are we really doing to be the change that we want to see, especially as it relates to African American youth? Well, this morning we're talking about agents of change. Our guest is Mr. Freddie Price. He is the Rapides chapter president of the Southern University Alumni Federation, and they're having their second annual Jaguars on the Bayou Ball. The theme is A Legacy Continued, and this morning we're talking about scholarships and how we can all be the change that we want to see. Mr. Price, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So I am a product of Southern University and Grambling, graduated from Southern, and this morning we're talking about the power of HBCUs, and I know that you are too. Take me back to a time when you were in college and everybody wasn't necessarily going to college.
Well, I started college in 1968. Mm-hmm. I left here as a 17-year-old, heading to Baton Rouge to Southern University. Mm-hmm. I'm a graduate of Peabody High School. So there were several college kids that were students that would come in and share their experiences with us. Mrs. Johnson was my chemistry teacher. Mm-hmm. And they would come in and they would just talk to us. And that piqued my interest.
Were you a first generation?
I was the first generation.
I was too. And so Mrs. Johnson, just like, you know, teachers at my high school, were talking about the power and the importance of going to universities like Southern and Grambling. And so what about that teacher and those people coming back made you think it was possible to get educated?
Because they cared. They cared so much that they gave us the good and the bad of life, if you will. And they saw something in us, and they wanted to see us go further into the universities that was out there, but they gave us information. So information and the ability to just be prepared, and because they prepared us, everybody prepared us to go to the next level. And so,
what did your chemistry teacher say? Did she think that you would be good in math and science?
No, well, as part of that, she just saw me. I was just a kid from Samtown. And a lot of people say, what good coming out of Samtown? Well, I came out of Samtown.
A lot of good comes out of Samtown.
Yes, ma'am. But she saw in us, not only in myself, but in the class, because she did it for other classes too, the ability to, because she knew what a college education would do for us. So she gave those students from Grambling and Southern an opportunity to come in and share with us, give us some information. And that was very powerful. It was so powerful that, because I wasn't really planning on going to college.
Were you not?
No, ma'am, I was not. I didn't see it. But after talking with them and listening to them, they piqued my interest.
What did your parents say when you went home and now you had this new idea of what your next step would be out of high school?
They were very supportive, very supportive. My mother told me to a great extent. She asked a lot of good questions, but she said, if you really want this, then we're going to be behind you 100%. And they were.
And so when you make that decision and you get to Southern, what happens next for you?
What happens next for me is that I'm a young man, never been out of Alexandria to a great extent, going on campus, and I see so many people that looks like me, everybody that looks like me, all wide-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready to go, understanding that we're different. We're on a college campus. So the classes that we had and the organization and the people that we met was so important and shaped who we are today. For me, one of the when I got there, we not only myself, but several of us from Alexandria left on a Continental Trailway bus and went to Southern University. And
wow.
Yeah, and we entered into actually a military fraternity called AUSA in the freshman year. And I met some beautiful, great people that became mentors to me and or in my life today because they gave me a foundation in providing me with opportunities and just understanding of what a man's supposed to be and how to do that and how to succeed. And so it was very, very important. And just the fact that the students, the teachers, the instructors that was there was dedicated. You know, they're dedicated to bring, they didn't sugarcoat anything. They provided us with opportunity and expected us with great expectations to succeed. If we didn't, then you know some did, some didn't. That's the atmosphere of being in a HBCU, a black environment, was tremendous. And again, it helped me to be who I am.
Sure. And so when you get there, do you know what you're going to major in, and how does that come into focus for you?
Well, when I went to college, I wanted to be actually in politics to a great extent. So political science was my major. But I also wanted to look at engineering because one of the things, because I was good in math and understanding politics, civil government. And so when I got there, looking through that, because that first year, you really don't know.
Sure.
You have to kind of go to your freshman classes and get an understanding of where you wanted to be. So, so I went into that area of political science, and that's what I did for 4 years. But also a part of that was I was part of the Army ROTC program. And so by being in the ROTC program, it also provided me other opportunities, another gateway to further my education and experience.
And so when you think about those young students who talk to your class
Yes.
From Southern and Grambling, and then you find yourself now a college student, what do you come back and say to the next batch of kids who don't know if an education is possible for them?
Yeah, that's a good question. We come back and try to share as much as we can because we still have a connection to Peabody. So we try to give that information out. But during the years, I graduated and went into the Army as a second lieutenant. And when I came back, through 30-some years away from Alexandria, I came back home. And I found the Southern University Rapides chapter alive and well.
Wow.
And by doing that, I joined the chapter. And again, the focus is being able, what can we do to further not only Southern, but HBCUs, just the college experience to our community, to our schools, basically from the middle school all the way up to high school, and give back as best we can. So that's been our goal in the community.
And so this chapter has been alive and well for nearly 50 years?
Over 50 years.
Over 50 years.
Yes, it was actually, we was incorporated in September 1970. Prior to that, we still had chapter members going, but we actually became incorporated during that period of time. So 50 plus years. We've been in Alexandria providing opportunities and communications and trying to do what we can for our youth in our area.
Indeed. We're going to take a break here, but when we come back, we'll talk about the second annual Jaguars on the Bayou, a legacy continued, and how we can all be difference makers in our community. Stay with us. We're back after this. Welcome back, everybody, to the Carlette Christmas Show. You know, we always talk about what's wrong in our community and what can we do to fix it. Well, many of us know that education is the great equalizer. It doesn't mean that every student will go to college and get a 4-year degree, but those who want to, we certainly want to be able to provide them the opportunity, and that's what the Rapides chapter of the Southern University Alumni Federation is doing, and we're talking about their ability to get people involved, to get those students involved, and scholarship opportunities. Mr. Freddie Price is the president of that chapter, and we're talking about education and how we can change what's happening in our communities. And you know, Mr. Freddie, we're seeing so many of our youth, black on black crime. We're seeing kids killing each other. Like, it's senseless killing. We can't even explain it. Talk about what you see now that has changed from those years ago when people wanted something different.
Yeah, that is a question that kind of haunts me, but it's because things have changed. The community has changed. The resources in the community, just the lack of all of that when we came up, you know.
But you didn't have anything really when you went to college, did you?
No, I didn't have, but what we had was family. What we had was our church. What we had was caring teachers, caring administrators, wanting to make sure that we, although we didn't have, we had secondhand books, all of those kind of things that was going on, racism, all that was prevalent for sure. It's still prevalent today. But we had a society, a close-knit understanding that you can't do it alone.
Right.
And
we had the village.
We had the village, and they were very supportive. And we knew that they were supportive, and so that connection was there. Over the period of time, here we are today, and a lot of it has eroded away for many different reasons. But we can't give up. We have to continue to try to reach out to these young people and let them know there's a better way, there's another way. And that's where our chapter comes into play as a change agent, if you will, to be able to provide those type of resources that are out there, that mentorship that may be able to turn some young kid to say, hey, maybe I can do something different.
Right.
And we can't reach them all, but we're going to try to reach as many as we can.
And to really talk about what's possible, because I was a first generation college student too, and before I went to an HBCU, I didn't know if it was possible that I could be college educated. And how do we speak to those kids who don't think that they're smart enough, who don't think that, you know, the opportunities are available to them?
Yeah, I think what we do will continue is to talk to the administrators, to give the opportunity, get in front of these kids, career days, just like the students did for me that went to Southern. Teachers allowed me to come in, they allowed those students to come in and talk to us. Those kind of activities might be something that we could do, partner with all the schools, all the principals in junior high and high school, in order to bring them with some information, give them solid information that there's another way. You know, college is not for everybody, but it is for some, and we want them to be able to understand and to see that high school is great. There's other areas, but another path is to go to a HBCU, go to a Southern University, a Grambling University, to further their education and to learn, because the experience that they will be receiving at a HBCU is so tremendous and life-changing and life-building, if you will.
It is.
Is they will be able to put themselves in a position to grow.
Exactly. And so, do you remember, Mr. Price, what that pivotal moment was for you in 1968? Your parents probably weren't educated. Your first generation. What that moment is that says, I'm going to go and try.
Yes, I do remember. My mother, her high school was 8th grade. My father was like the 2nd grade, but they was good parents. They raised 12 of us.
12 of you?
Yeah, it was 12, 6 boys and 6 girls.
Wow.
Yeah, a big family. But they gave us what we needed, the love and the discipline that we needed. So when I went to Southern University to see what was possible and going through the classes and meeting people and getting involved with some of, like I say, the fraternities, and being a part of the Army ROTC program, all led to me graduating as a second lieutenant and going into the Army. But I always remember my experiences, the good and bad, at Southern University. knowing that if it wasn't for Southern, a lot of us have graduated and done well for ourselves in life, but Southern gave us that opportunity. Southern gave us the foundation to be able to be where we are today. So we're looking to, hopefully people will understand that and not just commit in words, but in deeds, and speak to us with their pocketbooks.
Right.
Providing us with financial means to continue what we need to do for Southern to grow and reach other kids.
That old saying, each one reach one, or each one teach one.
That is correct, 100%. And it's with so much going on, it's so easy to look at the negative. But I'm an optimist. So by being that, we continue. The struggle continues, but we continue to grow, and so we just can't stop. We have to continue to reach out, do what we can, collaborate with each other, and find a better way. Because collaboration, because no one can do it alone. No organization can do it alone. But organizations need support, they need help in order to carry out their mission.
Absolutely, and we are proud to support this effort of Jaguars on the Bayou. It's going to be Friday, June 2nd, and it's about coming together and celebrating what we all know and what we all experienced having gone to an HBCU, but it's bigger than that. It's about providing scholarships.
Yes.
So tell us about the second annual and what you're hoping for.
Well, again, this is our second one. We're hoping that the community will understand, wholeheartedly support us, and come out. If they can't come out and be with us physically, be with us by providing a donation. No donation is too small. We are having tables that we're selling for our platinum is $1,000 per table. Our goal is $600 per table. But we are asking folks, I just received a call this morning about how can I support. I say any donation will happen.
Right.
It would be great because financially is what will be the best thing that the community can do for us,
right.
Supporting us that way, because as you know, financially supporting endowments and those kind of things for HBCUs are really, really low. I mean, you go to the LSUs and the other universities, they have no problem in
chunking their
funds.
purses. They're chunking their purses out.
The purses out there. We have, in Alexandria, we have lawyers, doctors, educators who are not supporting us. Now, that's not to throw a storm, but let's just tell the truth.
Right.
And we want them to understand that and let them know that we want their support. We need their support.
Right.
And we're expecting that. So what we're expecting on Friday is to have a great time and a fellowship, if you will. And with that fellowship, we're going to have a great meal for them. The atmosphere is going to be great. And we're going to listen to the legendary Coach Pete Richardson, who's just been inducted in the class of 2023 for the Black Hall of Fame. And because actually, when he comes to us the next week on the 8th, he's actually going to go to Atlanta and be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Wow. And then he's going to come here.
He's coming here first.
Coming here first.
Yes, he's coming here first.
And Coach Pete Richardson has been, he's been just a legend, and he has been a hallmark of what Southern University is. And, you know, I'm ashamed to say that I have not been a part of the alumni, and I know many of you sitting out there that got educated and have gone on to do well for whatever the reason, but now is the time for us to come together. And DC always says this, he says, we've got to stop depending on others to come and save our kids.
Yes.
We've got to stop depending on programs and the government. We can come together and we can give donations, and we can send kids that want to go to college to HBCUs, we can send them. And more importantly, we can start to reach out to those kids, just like in 1968, when those students came back and said, this is what's possible. We can change the atmosphere by our actions. And so I just hope that maybe you'll have a moment like DC and I did, an awakening to say, you know what? Yeah, we're all busy. We've all got a lot going on, but this is what has given to so much to us, and how much more can we give back?
That's right.
You know, we can all do better.
We can all do better. And we are a 501c3 organization, so when they do the donation, we can provide them tax information if they need it to happen. But we're excited about this opportunity. We want to continue to grow. Any donation, again, would be appreciated. Coach Pete is a tremendous speaker. He came to us in February of last year to support us with another fundraiser, and that was really, really out of his heart to a great extent. And so we want to, we're glad that he's coming back.
And we want to pack that house. We want to show up big. And for any businesses, any organization that wants to be a part of educating the next generation, this is how we stop the killing. This is how we stop the violence. We start to push something different, which is education. Mr. Price, we just can't thank you and the alumni for all the work that you're doing over these many years, and we just look forward to being a part of that and seeing it grow.
Thank you. I would have to say this, that because of donations, we have 5 students that we will be supporting this year going to Southern.
Amazing.
3 from Ash and 2 from Peabody. And because of the generosity, we basically were going to get a $700 scholarship to each one of them. But one of our benefactors say, hey, well, I'm going to give you another $300. And with that, they're going to get $1,000 from this chapter to go to Southern University.
Absolutely.
That's the type of putting your money where your mouth is.
Right.
But we need more of that.
Right.
And so we just thank you for the opportunity to share and come on your show and give this information to the community, and hopefully on Friday. Can I talk about the tickets?
Absolutely, you can.
Okay. The tickets are being sold at $50. A semi-formal meet and greet that we're going to have at the England Air Park. You can talk with Mrs. Charnel Graham. Her phone number is 225-315-2145, or you can call Charlie Eli at 542-6865. Or you can call me at 318-541-0682. Or you can mail your donation in to the chapter here in Alexandria at the Rapides chapter, Post Office Box 13, 71309.
Absolutely. We're super excited. I know it's going to be a huge event, and hopefully the chapter will be able to give more scholarships, larger scholarships, and this is just the beginning, because we can all do a little bit more. Again, Mr. Price, thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much.
And thank the chapter.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody, stay with us. We're back right after this.